What's up, Dame? What's happening with you?
Everything's everything.
See, you rocking that plush leather.
Yeah, it's a little guilt with it because, you know, I'm veganish. And I made this before I was like enlightened.
Okay.
You know, and so I'm gonna start making them in vegan leather, probably the mushroom leather.
Mushroom leather.
Yeah, I just don't feel like animals gotta die just for fashion.
Yeah.
To just showcase like, you know, wealth. I think it's very,
Yeah.
I just think after the tombstone we won't be judged very well for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No.
See, that's the thing is like, you know, today's Aaliyah's birthday. And
Happy birthday.
wait, hold on, I'm telling you to turn that down. Turn that down! That's the studio next door. Right there. People don't know this is the,
Yeah.
So he's making music in there.
Different angles.
But today's Aaliyah's birthday. And what I know is this. When you die, you can't take no money with you, and whoever you love, when you pass, you can't give them no money. But what I do know, the energy that transcends death is love.
Yeah.
I'm fucking taking is love. You know what I'm saying? I could feel her energy past the tombstone. It exists. I could feel it. There's too many coincidences that happen, you know, and I know that that should be what people should be worried about more than anything is love, because that's the only thing that you could take with you and give back.
Yeah.
And I know this because I personally feel it with the people I love, from Aaliyah to my mother, to my man Bob, you know, to Biggie. I could feel it. I could feel the same feeling that I felt when they were around, and even more. And it comes when I need it, you know. So I know that that's real, and that's the only currency that exists. You know what I'm saying? And happy birthday to Aaliyah.
Yeah.
And I say happy birthday every year, not when it's convenient, because, you know, Aaliyah taught me how to love, because I didn't know what love really was as far as being in love like that until I really met her. And that experience, it was a feeling I thought I would never feel again. And because of Aaliyah, I was able to recognize it in Rocky, regardless to how Rocky was dressed, or if she was famous, or, you know, I was able to see the realness in the person, because I know the feeling. And that was what I went with, not the money. I went with the love, and that was the currency that she made me really recognize. And she still does to this day. And the way I see things, you know, she's such an important person, because not only does she affect the world with her music, but the sacrifice everyone always talks about is the fact that she had to feel so much pain, maybe so other girls and little girls won't, to bring awareness to something that people weren't bringing awareness to.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And karmically, that's how things happen. It's again like how Jesus got sacrificed in the Bible, just to help all his children, you know? Just like I say, you know, when I read the Bible, another thing I got with it, other than not to trust men, was that, you know, if you love your children.
That's what you got from the Bible, not to trust men.
Yeah, and if you love your children, you got to be hung up on the cross to sacrifice, so they don't have to go through the pain that you go through. So all the pain that we go through, it's only so that our children and the people we love don't have to go through it.
Okay.
So in that respect, it is a sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? So again, the awareness that she's brought to all these little girls that are helpless, because of her experience, will make it so not a lot of other girls won't have to go through that. So she's still helping the world, and that's how powerful she is, and that's love.
That's beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? And anyone that wants to, like, you know, undermine that, and or try to like take something against it, or leverage it, or turn love into hate, or try to discredit her and her as a person, they're gonna have to deal with that past the tombstone, because that's not love. And we only here to love, and you can't understand love doing that. So that must be a lonely person that wants other people to be lonely with them. But they, you know, I just don't think it's logical to leverage hate. You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. Because when you put out hate, all you get back is hate. When you put out love, that's all you get back is love. So why wouldn't you just want to give love? You know what I'm saying? Like how you feel when you buy stuff for your kid at Christmas. You feel love. You feel better than the kid. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you love giving something to somebody you love and making sure they have. That's what it's all about. But I don't see where people miss that. You know, money can never come before love. Fame should never come before love. You know, that's just dumb.
Right.
You know, that's not gangster. That's stupid. That's cowardly.
Since we're on the topic of love, you know, I just recently saw, like, Memphis Bleek saying that, you know, he always rocked with you, he had mad love for you, still got love for you, but he feels like your involvement in the best of both worlds was more than what you're saying.
Oh, yeah? Bleek is funny. You know, I've always loved Bleek.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't got nothing bad to say about him other than, you know, no disrespect to him, but, you know, those kind of conversations, he probably wouldn't have been in them. You know, like he's younger, so those were adult conversations. But, you know, from what I heard or what I saw on Instagram, he called me a liar, but he had nothing to support it. He said exactly what he was doing. I'm gonna get on my flex shit, which means start lying, or rather be loud with no explanation and nothing to support it. So if somebody calls me a liar, they should at least say what I lied about and how I lied about it. But I mean, I really am not on the best of both worlds. I didn't go to a show. I didn't have my name on any of that. I was in Fiesta, but only because Aaliyah said to do it exactly that way, so I did what she wanted me to do. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, what was it? And the thing about Bleek is, like our last conversation, he actually spoke about it on Noriega's show.
Okay.
On the Alcoholics.
Yeah.
On
The Drink Champs.
the Drink Champs. And we were on a jet, and we were coming back from Europe or going to it. And I was like, Bleek, why are you always on Jay's stage? Like, why are you like his hype man? Why don't you, if you're gonna be with him, why don't you perform on your own stage? Do your own, like open up for him and so you can perform your own songs. And he argued with me about that. Like he thought I was like bugging. And you know, as if I was disrespecting him. And it was crazy. It was a crazy conversation because I was only trying to help him because I wanted a future for him. You know, but he was so worried about being under the umbrella. But what I see for Bleek now is not what I wanted for him. And I think he's a direct example of what happens when you stay under the umbrella. So if you want your life to look like Bleek's, you stay under a certain umbrella and that's what you'll have. That's just a fact. And that's not what I wanted for him this many years down the line. But also, you know, he's worked and he's never came from under that umbrella. So obviously he's speaking for who he works for. So that means that's that position. So, you know, again, whoever says I'm lying, you know, you could just showcase it. We could do it like, man, I'll talk to anybody. But it wouldn't be Bleek that I would be talking to about that. And I have love for him, and I hope that, you know, he has a good future and he enjoys the decisions he's made. But that's, you know, it's not for me to make that man fight harder for himself than, or for me to fight harder for him than he would fight for himself. And I got that on tape. You know what I'm saying? But it was a crazy conversation to me. And, you know, but whatever. So again, if you want to be loud about it, don't just say I'm lying, say what I lied about. What action reflects a lot? You know what I'm saying? Right. Period. That's all.
And then I saw that Flex put up our footage, the footage we did over a long, maybe probably like 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, where you were talking about meeting Aaliyah. And I mean, Flex, that's kind of like a back and forth
Flex
situation.
is like an example of like what a moron looks like. And you kind of need someone stupid to showcase what smart looks like. Just like you don't know love without pain. You know, there's nothing to compare it to.
Everything holds polarity.
Right, so it's good for him. He's a good guy because he continuously does things that aren't intelligent. And I don't even like pay him no mind really, but I think sometimes he goes, you know, he goes a little too far because he talks about people's family and it's just disrespectful and it's dark. But there's a pattern with Flex. You know, his business model is to leverage hate. And if you look at everyone that's been talking, that's all they do is leverage hate. So you told me Star was saying some shit too, and I don't care what he says. He's always, you know, again, it's like he does like a podcast, and he's been in the game for like, you know, 25 years. He's doing worse than Flex actually. He started where Flex was, and he's ended up in a basement, you know. But every time someone talks about him, it's always related to hate. And he said some disrespectful shit about Aaliyah when she first passed. And, you know, as a result, I don't think his life has been so good. Like, I don't see anybody wanting to hang out with that guy or think they could get money with him. It's just him being mad. And that's his pattern. It's an insecurity. You know, when you can't fit in, you hate everybody. And then that becomes your business model. You become so selfish that you don't care about the collateral damage. You don't care if you're playing yourself. You know, it's like a girl when she gets mad, not just no disrespect to girls. You know, when they get to that level when they just will do anything, you know, it must be a sad life to make money off hate of your own people. You know what I'm saying? But again, he's not the kind of guy that I need anything from or that can help. But, you know, again, if that's the way he wants to monetize hate, I just think, you know, again, look at his life and ask yourself, do you want that life? And do you want that career? And do you want that kind of energy around you? You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it's almost like you got to feel sorry for people like that. But I don't think they should get so disrespectful because, number one, like, I'm not going to jump out of pocket. You know, I'm 47 years old. So what I'm going to do, fight somebody? I can't. And, you know, I would be all right with it if I was younger because, you know, I'm skilled with those. You know, I'm all right with mine. You know, I'm all right with a fair one at any time, but it just wouldn't look intelligent for the rest of the culture. So when you say things that in the street are so disrespectful that most people react to a guy like me, it's just like, you know, that's like, there's no props in that. You know I can't hit back. You know I can't deal with my ego. I got to be smart about things. But I'm not going to jump out of pocket no matter how hard you try. And when you do things at a level where it's illegal, like where you can't just be talking about people and say things that aren't true just to prove a point or to monetize it, you expose yourself for a lot of liability, karmically and financially. So again, my message is tread lightly. Like, you know, I'm minding my business, bro. I'm launching television networks. I'm buying companies. I'm not.
How's that going?
It's great. You know, that's real business.
Yeah.
You know, this to me is a cultural responsibility to bring awareness to each other of who we are and our power and who is actually trying to separate us. Yeah. And we know what Flex has made clear is his agenda is to separate us. He's made it obvious to where he can't turn back. Like, name one thing that Flex has ever been famous for that was positive. Like, when does he get a reaction? It's only when it's negative. Name all these other people that you talk about, that everyone that's actually got involved in this have been people that sit in a room and that seem like they have a life that nobody else wants. And they want to bring awareness to it, but it doesn't look aspirational. It doesn't look fun to be Flex or Star or Bleek. That doesn't look fun. It looks fun to have children and raise them and love them and you know, bring care about other people and laugh. Nobody want to be mad all day and screaming and all that. But 47, everyone that's speaking is over 40. The funny thing is no one young is saying a word. The younger guys must be laughing at the older guys like, yo, bro, you have become the new clown cakes. You understand? Like, that's why the young guys be laughing at the older cats, because, you know, they still petty. You know?
Same thing we used to
It's a pattern of petty. The petty pattern. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's a waste of time. Like, you know, find a new business model. Man, it doesn't work. It doesn't yield. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, go celebrate your children. And make sure they're all right, and do something that you would want them to do as opposed to something that you would be embarrassed if they were doing. Because I know none of them would want their children doing what they're doing. It's like being a criminal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and what they're doing is criminal to themselves and it's criminal to the culture. And it needs to stop. Everyone has to take responsibility for even giving them any kind of burn at all, for even giving them that power. You know, the thing about Star is no one listens to him. That's why, you know, he's struggling. He's struggling to be heard, or else why would someone say something that's so negative? All that means is he wants a reaction. All right, you got your acknowledgement. Now get out of here. You know what I'm saying? There's your 4 seconds of fame. Go be happy, bro. You know, but don't go too hard. You know what I mean? To where you have to get you hurt yourself karmically. I mean, I think that's stupid.
Yeah. When I walked in, I saw like it was over like 10 people, staff members, and you was working on the network.
Yeah.
You know, how does that feel more than anything
It's
else?
great, but that's one table. So I got a table, and if you come to it, you're gonna get money. And at that table, I talk about a lot of different businesses. So you walked in on a television network business, but you could have walked in on a liquor company business or a fashion company business
All day,
or a
different
movie
things.
business. You know, I'm doing business all day because I enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so proud of my daughter and the way how eloquent she's delivered and you know, that she's become popular, or she's brought attention to herself for writing a book that's gonna help other people. And her and her mom, they just make me proud. And RJ Lee and Tally, like you see our lineage, we're an American fashion family. Black or white, you cannot take that from us. We put in that work and it's nothing new. And we don't have to do publicity stunts. We got work. Right. Even my 19-year-old daughter got work. Even my son had work when he was 19. If you notice, when my kids are 19, they all want to and a desire to be professionals. Because that's what they see, that's what they know, from mother to father. There's no choice. There's no other vibration, there's no other pattern. See, when you have your child, or when you get with someone that you care about, you have to develop a pattern. Yes. But if you're gonna hypnotize somebody, hypnotize them with the right shit, not the wrong. You feel me?
That's where the word father comes from the word pattern, pater. That's what it means, pattern. That's where you get the word pattern from. That's what a father is to the household. the pattern.
He's a pattern?
The pattern. That
Never
the
heard
word
that.
father comes from the word pater.
Who told you that?
That's
Where you be finding out
that's
that-
a
all
cult
that stuff
knowledge.
from?
That's a cult knowledge.
Cult? You in a cult?
A cult.
Cult.
A cultist means
A
hidden
cultist?
from plain sight. Yeah.
I know what a cult means.
Yeah, a cult. That's what a cult means.
So you in a
I
cult? You said
researched-
it's
no,
cult
I'm-
knowledge?
Yeah.
Oh, you go into a cult.
Yeah, I
Research
researched
another
yeah,
cult.
Yeah, I researched.
So-
No, not a cult, not cult knowledge, but a cult.
Sounds like you
The
was,
word
it sounds
ocular.
like you
The
was
word
drinking a
the
Colt
word
45.
a cult comes from the word ocular. Ocular, like seeing something, but not
With
getting
ocular?
seen.
Where you get all this? Where's your dictionary? You got a lot of good words.
Just doing a lot of research.
I think when we talk, you should, when you say these words,
Yeah.
there should be like
Ocular.
a definition.
Yeah.
So what does ocular mean? Is that like
That's
a beard
visual.
style that
Visual.
you want to do
Visual.
ocular?
Visual. That's vision. And so a cult means hidden from plain sight. That's the knowledge that's hidden from
So it's
the masses.
ocular cult.
Well,
vision
no, the
cult.
word ocular comes from the word occult.
Oh.
Yeah, that's where you get the word occult from. But yeah, that's what the father is to the household, the pattern.
The pattern.
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 You know, but those patterns can be broken if you don't have the right father.
Absolutely. I mean, again, everything we do that's negative, we only do it because we're used to it.
Yes.
And the reason why the pattern has been implemented is so it can be monetized. It's again, that's that form of slavery.
Yeah.
Where they want you to do something and you continue to do it whether you know you're doing it or not. So you know you want to go and live in a certain house, you know you want to go to a certain school, you want to spend money, you know you want a credit card, you know you want a job.
Yeah.
That's a pattern, and it keeps you a slave to buying certain things to keep you alive.
Absolutely.
You know, and then the other pattern
I think it's the biggest. It's a big play. Just when your children, you know, are doing something. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many different things that can distract them and pull them into a whole nother realm. And I'm proud of my children. Like
your children,
my daughter's in college. You
Yeah.
know, my daughter Kalei. Kamali's doing good in school. So you know, my daughter Carmen's playing basketball and she scored like 15 points the other day. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot to be proud of, man.
Well, the ultimate reflection of any adult is their children.
Yes. Yes.
And you know, people make mistakes, but you know, when they're polite and when they're humble and when they're nice to people, like, you know, most of my children are the exact opposite of what I'm perceived to be. You know,
Same here.
and they're very poised, and I'm proud of all of them.
Yeah.
And they're all doing things, every adult is doing something at a professional level, whether it's a TV show, whether it's cookies, whether it's modeling, or whether it's writing books. And everything that my daughter has done so far has been to help other people.
Yeah.
So not only is she trying to help, not only am I trying to help my culture, she's trying to help the cultures in the rest of the world. That's
As
our
well.
pattern. That's
Yes.
the pattern of my
Right.
family, is for us to help
She's
people.
seeing you do it with ease, so now she's doing it with
And her
ease.
mother, you know, I can't take
Right.
credit. And that's another
Absolutely.
thing that I wanted to bring up is, this is a perfect example of, even though a parent can't get along, if they're gonna do right by the child, you gotta forgive everything.
Damn right.
It's all about
Yeah,
the child.
absolutely.
So whatever ever would happen between me and my
Have mommy,
my
have daddy.
ex-wife,
Have mommy, have daddy.
I don't really care what
you gonna
she
hate one
did.
half of your child?
my children are perfect, so
Yeah.
I could never be mad at her for anything.
Absolutely.
And I think that's how everything, it's always about the kids. It's not about you. If I had to be sacrificed for them to be happy, then cool. Whatever sacrifice it was worth it.
Absolutely.
You know, whatever fight I had to go through to get to where we're at right now, it was meant to be. So just because we have pain is because sometimes pain is the only way we can learn, you know, about the love we need
Oh
to
yeah.
give.
Sometimes the best teacher
Some
is
people,
adversity.
It is.
Adversity,
Pain is the
right.
best teacher. The trick is to learn before the pain.
Yeah.
That's the trick.
Well,
pain
I tell
will teach you
I
quickly.
share people, not to cut you off, but I share with people all the time. Like I didn't really start living life to the fullest until after I got shot.
Yeah.
You know, and then everything began to look different. Everything felt different. I began to give more love, even without me looking for love in return. You know, so it just became a process that I didn't have to go through that in order to learn that lesson. But, you know, the adversity of going through that really brought me forward.
Well, that's how I felt about being diabetic. So it was a gift and a curse. At you know, 15, I thought I was dying. I really thought I was,
Damn.
you know, it was over. And when I found out I was diabetic, I knew I had a chance. I didn't have to feel that pain, so I actually celebrated it. And I think I've been celebrating life ever since.
What were the initial feelings you were feeling that made you feel like you were dying? Like
I was losing weight. I was weak. I lost my appetite.
sleeping or like
It's not really like the sleep part. It was just, you know, I was pissing all day. It was just, I felt terrible, you know, all of a sudden out of nowhere. So, of course, you know, what was going on right now was people were first discovering HIV, and Magic had just, you know, said he had it. So I just was like, fuck, I thought it was that. And the kids in my school thought it was that because I lost the weight. And I was scared to go to the doctor, you know. But finally my mom was like, yo, you gotta go to the doctor. But when I went to the doctor, he was like, diabetes. I was like damn near jumping for joy. And I've been jumping for joy ever since. Like, I feel like I'm lucky to have diabetes. And that's my perspective on things. But that's about how you look at things. Like, I hear about diabetes, depression. I'm like, I've never been, Rocky's been with me straight every single day for 10 years. The only time I'm depressed is once a month, and that's because her and I don't get to, you know what I'm saying? So, but other than that, I'm never depressed, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's devastating that but even still, you know, my perspective on things is always the upside, not the down. Yeah. And you can look, and everything has an upside and a downside.
Absolutely.
You just choose the downside because it makes you feel a certain way.
Right.
But within that feeling, the test as a gangster and as a boss is to look at the upside in every downside, because there is one.
And what you're describing is, you know, since I'm gonna take it to the code, under universal law, that's called the law of rhythm. The ups match the downs and the downs match the ups. You have a choice of looking at things a certain way.
And it's not physical.
Yeah.
It's not physical to look at something, but that's the hardest thing for somebody to do. It's just to look at something different. I don't know why.
To develop a neutrality to anything that's going on and understand that whatever's happening and taking place, there's another side to it.
Man, people rather jump in a rabbit hole and lift man weights on a treadmill for every single day.
By the way, today was the hardest day I ever had working out.
Right, why?
Well, we did circuit training, and what circuit training is, you just nonstop doing things on the clock for, I'm talking about like 9 different exercises. You're not stopping, no breathing room, no rest. Next, until you finish that circuit, and then it's like a minute or two between that, and then you get back on it. So it was pretty tough. I posted it up. That was circuit training.
Oh, I also want to say this.
Yeah.
Great for the circuit training. Do you have to wear a uniform for that?
No. I just had my sweats and just
doing
what I had to
people in
do.
it with the circuit? It's like
just me.
army of circuit
Just me.
trainers?
It can be, but it was just me today.
You got private circuit training lessons?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
They just got all different kind of titles.
He trying to make it sound like real, like karate and
I
shit.
thought it was circuit training. I don't know.
And you make it sound all like.
So I went to Mos Def's concert.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Yasin Bey.
Yeah, he performed over Kanye's beats. And you know,
Nice.
in the DD 172 days, we spent a lot of time together, and we made a lot of music.
Yeah.
You know, but I've always thought.
Did Talib perform?
Yeah, Talib came out. You know, I was. You know, if you didn't know that, I was trying to sign all of them. I wanted them. Those guys could rap.
Most.
But like most is
crazy.
I think that most, honestly, like I've never seen anyone that could do what most can do, like as far as the rap, the singing, and the intellect in which he says things, and his show is crazy.
Yeah, he's up there.
I just find it odd that, you know, like a certain level of rap person knows exactly what he is and who he is, but I've always thought that he should be recognized as one of the best. And when I would be around him, he would be ready for that smoke.
Definitely one of the best.
But he has that that rap competition. Like he can
freestyle. He can
he can rap, but he ready for that smoke. Like he was ready to battle whoever wanted it. Like when I would be around him, he was with it, and I would be like, yo, I just think he should be in that conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, he lives a rock star's life, but he performs like a rock star. Yeah. And he raps, and I just wanted to give props. And then Talib, you know, I've always thought he's skilled, and he's, you know, still killing them on stage.
That's why I don't like those charts, man. I don't like when people like top 10. There's so many different MCs for different things, man. There's so many different.
The charts are based on who makes the industry the most money.
Okay.
That's all they care about.
Because in those charts, you got to talk about E40 on the West Coast. You got to talk about
the guys that don't let you exploit them don't give a fuck about a chart, so they don't do what they have to do to fit that chart.
Exactly.
The chart it's like a fit-in chart.
Yeah,
you know, it's like
this is the
it's
level
like the pat
you're
on the
supposed
back.
to meet.
It's like the Grammys. You know, that's why I didn't go to the Grammys. It's just like you're accepted now in our world because you've made us a certain amount of money.
Damn.
And that's why charts and all that, they're all created for insecurity. So now if you're not on the chart, you feel like you haven't done good.
You feel like you're not doing well.
But before you didn't care about a chart until someone else that was making money off you cared about a chart.
There's a lot of MCs out there, Fonte, you got all types of OC. You know what I'm saying? OC, oh man, like that Word Life album.
Large Professor.
You
know, all those guys. So, you know, Rakim, you know, like.
Boy, John Robinson, the one that sat on the couch with us that day. You know what I'm saying? To get busy. All of that. So I just think there's like this level that because they weren't willing to compromise and care about a chart, that people really don't know how good and what kind of talent is really out there. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because what he was doing, he should have been doing in a stadium. I thought, to be honest, and it was.
Damn, I missed that.
That show was crazy. You know, it was great. And that's when you don't even want to make money.
When was the last time you saw him since then?
Man, I seen him, surprisingly, I saw him at like about 4 or 5 years ago, or 6, maybe a long time ago at my little nephew Dash. That's what he called himself, Little Darian.
He had a performance.
Well, he was putting me on to Tyler, the Creator, before everybody knew about it.
Okay.
So it was like in a club in New York, and he was there. Like, it would be most that knew about Tyler, Creator first. Like, most really knows about everything first.
Tastemaker, man. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he never gets the credit for it. But, like, he was the first person I saw on the stage with Tyler, Creator.
Damn.
Tyler, the Creator. And that's how I knew of him.
What about the Jay Electronica stuff you did? Like, when is that? What's up with that stuff?
That's
like,
my man.
I mean, gotta figure out how to put that out, man.
I mean, Jay owes a lot of people. Electronica, he owes a lot of people albums. He's funny. He's like lightning in the bottle. He's a real creative.
Yeah,
but
he's another one that's...
Well, he's another one that's like, yo, I'm nice, so I don't have to prove myself. But, you know, I got records with Jay Electronica. Like, he used to come up to Carmel, like on his birthday, because I had like a compound. And we would just like kick it. I would try to get it, like, sometimes when he's in the mood to make music.
You got that footage?
Yeah. We fly planes, he bring planes. He always, he takes credit for me having dogs, because he had a German Shepherd.
I saw your boy the other day too, Stevie Williams, skateboarder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He was saying that. He was talking about how you helped him a lot. We did like a radio interview, and he was talking about how you a lot of things you told him, and he actually did them, and they worked for him. Because you told him to really just be. You put him in you put him in the movie. Yeah. You told him just be unique, just be yourself. And he embraced that, and that's one of the main reasons why he stands out in skateboarding.
He built a brand, and he stood behind his point of view, and like he was one of the first kids that were black that were recognized for what he did.
Because when you see him, you thinking like, oh, he's just a hood dude, but this dude gets busy on the skateboard. Like, it's crazy. Yeah. I saw him in Atlanta a couple years ago in DJ Drama's studio right before Uzi. Okay.
So. And it was funny because I was with with Jay Black's people and Bootsy's people from North Carolina, and they were with me, and I was like, yo, I have a feeling that kid Uzi's gonna blow up. You should make a record with him. And they just played music the whole day. There's a picture of it, and you ask Uzi, he'll tell you. Wow. And now if I ever talk to them, I'd be like, I told y'all to make a record with that kid.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
I just had a feeling. You know, you kind of know when someone's about to go. Like,
it's interesting.
It's like a process, that, you know.
It's funny you said that, because like I remember years ago you told me about having Nelly in your office, and it's a different sound than what the traditional New York sound was back in the day. But how did you know?
No, it wasn't.
What happened
with that was Trell, and Trell Pass was trying to give Biggs a demo for he wanted to for him.
Right.
And he never gave it to me, so Trell was like, yo, you could have had Nelly.
Yeah, because I know it's Boy Cuda, yeah.
So that's how that happened.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't that.
But like, because a lot of people hit me up all the time because you have a good eye for talent. Like
there'll be talent, like, you know, like Wiz Khalifa used to come through a lot.
That's another one. I remember you would tell me about him over the phone.
Yeah. And I knew he was
years before I heard anything about him.
To the extent that I told Todd Moskowitz about him, like in a club, like, you know, you dropped a kid named Wiz Khalifa that's about to be popping. Literally, he was in Woodstock with Currency and my nephews, and we were shooting movies, and Cootie and Shike, and two Suburbans just pulled up, or a Suburban pulled up, and just scooped him up. And this kid Benji and some other dude, and Wiz was like, I don't even know him. And then, like, a month later, Black and Yellow came out.
Wow.
Yeah. And I remember going to a concert to see Wiz, and I didn't like the people that were around him. That kid Benji, again, I don't know what he's doing now, but he was disrespectful. And I had to flip on them a little bit because I didn't like the way they were carrying me. You know, they weren't from the culture, and they were acting like they had some kind of, you know, entitlement there. I remember years later, you know, Wiz and I talking about it, like, yeah, you know, those guys weren't right. And I always would be like, yo, if you ever need me to punish them in any way, I'm here. You know what I mean? But my point is, you know, I might see some talent that I know is going to go. I don't need to make money off it. I'd rather make sure they know what to do and how to prepare themselves, and we can work together. I'll meet you when you're rich.
Same thing.
Work together.
The same thing with our gallery. Look where we sitting by.
Yeah.
Like, you look at the talent, all the talent that's involved. Like, we sitting by different paintings each time.
I'm inspired by art. I'm inspired by new energy.
The creatives.
You know, and I think they deserve that platform. So again, my job is to make sure that independence lives aren't as hard as mine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
culturally, I don't want anyone that has the same mind state as me to have to go through
Right.
what I went through and the resistance that I had to deal with. So I think it's, you know, proper if you're respectful and you're on the same sheet of paper that I share my platform, you know, just as long as when you get where I am, you share your platform. See, the problem before was I empowered people that when they got what they wanted, they became selfish. So usually when I invest in somebody, the whole purpose of it is so that when we get there, we can all benefit. But a lot of people, once they get there, they don't want nobody to benefit but themselves, and then they shut the doors, and then they start making excuses not to work with you and paint you out to be something you're not as an excuse to do some foul shit, and they also create distance. But that's human nature. You know, I'm never really judging anybody individually. It's just a pattern of humans that do that.
Yeah.
And that's a pattern that I wanted to change for myself, so I would never do that to anybody because I can recognize that pattern. You understand what I'm saying?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, a lot of people ask me about that. I mean, all the time, talking about just, well, Dame, listen to my demo. Will he see if I'm, you know, how I sound? Like, give him my stuff and see. You know, like for instance, you know, some good people sent me a box of items. They're an independent company called Bless Thyself Clothing, and they wanted me to present these hats to you because they really.
Take one, I take one.
It ain't gonna really match right now. I have a box of stuff.
You gonna give me a hat you wouldn't wear?
Yeah. No, I can't wear it. You want
me to hold it right now?
Yeah, you want
give me a hat to hold right now? You won't wear? What you doing right now?
Stop, man. Look, listen, see, look.
See what happens?
You see
You see what he does?
See.
You won't put it on his head.
He want me to
hold it.
Right.
Sure. Now I got to hold it.
Well, I got to put it on. Like,
okay, well, here.
Yeah, I just hold it
Yeah,
right now. But anyway, you know, and it's like, that's what the whole premise of the book was written about, was that, you know, to protect the creative. Because every question I asked you, and then my team asked you, involving the book, had to do with how do you protect yourself among culture vultures, and what is it that you really have to look for and listen for, because you have to use all your senses when you're around culture vultures.
The only way to
coldest
protect
thing.
yourself from a culture vulture is not to let him employ you. He has
Right.
no power unless you give it to him.
Right.
So that's it.
Right.
Don't give a vulture no power and he can't fly.
And the number one thing is
Don't make
educate yourself. Educate
Yeah,
yourself.
well, know
Right.
yourself.
Know
you better
know
than,
your wealth.
If
Know
somebody
your
has to make money off your skill, that means they don't have it. That means you're better than them at it. And they just want to make money off you. So that should tell you right there, yo, I don't need you. And then they should know they're not going to be vultures. They can't be culture vultures. You're going to
They
be
can't
a little,
come around with
you can't
that.
fly. You're a chicken. You just go run around without,
You're a
you know,
chicken.
you're a chicken. You're a chicken. That's all.
Yeah. But anyway, we
So
good, man. We
wrap it
good. That's another edition of Hip Hop Motivation. We with Ed McMahon.
All right, and my man Egg McMuffin.
Stop it. Cut.
Another thing about the Bleek situation is, you know, it's a fact that he was in all those albums and at all those shows and in the video, as opposed to talking about what I was doing or what I felt about it. Where's the accountability for the fact that you was looking the other way? So if you notice, that hasn't been addressed. So of course he's gonna have to be loud and make a distraction because he's in front of a mic. The only question that should be asked in that room, it shouldn't be about Dame Dash, it should be about why did you still participate in that album? Why was you in the video? Forget Dame. So everybody that's screaming Dame, I feel like has some guilt, but it feels like it's just a distraction to take that energy off themselves and their accountability. It was unapologetic. You know, it was like, yo, but at the bottom line is, all right, let's say I am lying, but why was you there? You know, why did you look the other way? Why did you participate in 2 albums and a tour, despite the thing, you knew that your big homie, that he messed with your big homie's girl like that he raped your big homie's girl. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what did I do to, or show to reflect anything but what I'm saying? You don't see my name on it. You never saw me in there. And again, I was in the video and I did it the way that Aaliyah asked me to do, as long as I wasn't in no shots with him, but don't shake it up. You see there's pictures of her dancing to his music because she never wanted no one to see that pain. So you know when she's dancing to it, she was hurt. But she had to push through that. And that's what we all had to do because everybody else was looking the other way. Right. If we said something, what was going to happen? Everybody was going to do the blackball thing, right? So when a bunch of scumbags get together because somebody pure doesn't want to do what they do, they say, nah, none of them going, he can't, you know, they got to make me look bad. You know? If you notice, all these people that have been accused, they all work together. Just look at it. Look under the hood. See who works together. See what deals everybody was doing. A lot of looking the other way.
What's happening? This is the big homie Kenyatta. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube page. And if you haven't already, hit the notification so you can get an alert each and every time our hip hop motivation videos come up. And also, thank you for your support. Peace and blessings.
Amina's not no freaking. Listen, man, I'm Queen Amina. I had a queen named Amina. Amina's not no freaking. Listen, man, I'm Queen Amina. Amina's not no freaking.
I know a queen named Amina. Mad perseverance. Looking through the rear view of a negative experience. This woman had dreams, your vision was unique. She had to make a choice to truly fit the whole mistake. Pete.
The hardest obstacle that's going to come, the one that could really send you back, is going to be the one that's blocking you right from your goal. There's a proverb that says, for a woman, the hardest part of birth is during labor. That's when the pain is the most intense. But after that comes life. When that life comes, it's eternal. So I like to apply that to business. When I was trying to shop Wu-Tang, a lot of people would say, it won't work, it never sell. You guys are too hardcore. It's no hook. And I didn't listen to them. I will leave building after building with a surety and determined belief in myself. And when they wouldn't give me the money to do it, we went and made the money ourselves.
When you writing a book, Dave?
I'm writing. I also have a book. I have a book called Culture Vultures. Yeah,
what's it called?
It's called Culture Vultures. Have you ever looked at the Hip Hop Motivations that I do?
Yeah, absolutely.
So me and Kenyatta did a book, and it's already written. He wrote it. We done with it, and I'm also giving it out in different ways. So it's gonna be an auditory experience as well.
Listen, for mad years I walked around with my neck looking like a Nestle Crunch bar. I had to do something about it. What I found is that a razor bump is nothing but an ingrown hair that curls into the skin and causes the skin to become enlarged or inflamed, making it look like a bump. But it's not a pimple. It's a hair that grows into the skin causing inflammation. You have to remove that hair, and then you have to use yourself a nice skin astringent, something that can do the trick, something that can get rid of those razor bumps. So what did I create? Bump Assassin, organic skin astringent. To order your own bottle of Bump Assassin, go to hiphopmotivation.bigcartel.com. Yo, you can either think of a master plan or get mastered by somebody else's plan. Check it. As a barber, one of the most important life lessons I learned is to never do anything without seeing the ending result first. Before I understood the value of seeing results, I used to waste a lot of time sometimes doing double work because I didn't have a vision of where I was going. Then I started taking consultations more serious by not even turning on my clippers until I had a clear understanding of the result my client was planning to see. And in turn, it became easier to achieve the style they wanted to see in half the time. Real talk, the most successful barbers and beauticians are the ones that see the ending results before they start any service. Write this down. Before making any moves, know where you're going. Deciding from thoughts of being sick and tired of something, starting something, or admiring something can be the emotions that fuel change. Because write this down. Emotion leads to passion. Passion leads to action, and action leads to results. Word up. Question: what's the #1 killer of dreams? If you said fear, you're wrong. Fear is on the list, but it's not the #1 killer. The #1 killer of dreams is comfort. The comfort of a good paying job or an inactive relationship can seduce us for many years into the rhythm of accepting things without making any moves to change, further numbing us into a state of zombie-like passiveness. Write this down. Passiveness will cause your dreams to pass you by.
Dash thing. Nah, I don't want to chill out, bruh. You know what I want to do? Believe in yourself. Build your own personal wealth. Then that becomes personal health. Think I'm rhyming. How about that?
Everything go down here. Just gotta, know what I mean, be a little smart.
I see you grooving right now. I was in my groove. Yeah. Ooh. I started daydreaming. I started thinking about something.
I'm a musician.
Yeah, exactly.
I like to spend all kinds of money. I like the dollar, I like the euro, I like the pound, I like the franc pause, I like the yen.